first got in 14 years ago, there weren't options like there are nowadays. We were limited pretty back then to where you were getting spikes or acrylic dice. There was the amount that the jewelry industry has expanded and grown. It's expanded to a point to where it can actually, I guess, it can cater to different kinds of clientels and customers, where we're no longer limited to just having certain kind of pieces and basic standard ends. With the big boom in the gold industry, as far as when the body piercing, body jewelry, it's definitely created this whole other realm to where it's no longer the typical people that people are expecting to be wearing body jewelry. I get, my 50, 60-year-old business professional women that come in on a regular basis wanting to get their nostril pierced. And it's an extravagant piece of jewelry, and it's something that wasn't around 10 plus years ago. The quality aspects have changed to where we now have a lot more companies actually working within the ASTM designations for initial jewelry piercing. So we're starting to see a lot more different variety as far as end options that can be used, different styles and so forth. And it's all definitely helped push the industry to a point where it's at now, and to where it will continue to further evolve and grow. That the companies that are making jewelry are now having to conform to the standards that have been designated for the organization for years on end. I mean, here we are coming into our 20th year of conference, and there are still only a handful of jewelry vendors that are actually making jewelry of implant grade quality. Whereas now these companies are going to have to, if they want to get into, I guess if they want a slice of the pie with what's happening within the industry, they're going to have to conform, and that's what we're starting to see. Yeah, we have good jewelry companies in other countries that are popping up, like Biometal in Mexico, where they haven't had access to really great quality jewelry. And when they have, the import fees are really pricey for them. So now we're starting to see companies branch out and open up in other countries, making this quality jewelry accessible to piercers where it never was accessible before. Jewelry quality is by far the biggest part, and I usually try to stress to people looking to get into different materials to understand that there are reputable manufacturers out there, and finding out why these manufacturers are reputable is going to give you that knowledge as an understanding of what's going to make this other piece of jewelry bad. Using gold, for example, people are really quick to say, well, why does this cost so much more than this piece that I can find over here at K Jewelers or something of that sort? When you take into consideration, with gold, it has to be alloyed. It's too soft to be used initially as it is in a raw form. So it has to be alloyed, and usually traditionally when it's being worn around the neck, the fingers, they're going to use a nickel to alloy it. Whereas where it's going in the body doesn't like nickel. So understanding that finding a palladium-based or some kind of derivative gold that's not based with nickel is going to be absolutely important and imperative to actually having a quality piece of body jewelry as opposed to a traditional piece of jewelry. Woods is a really completely different topic for a lot of people. There's a lot of understanding and misunderstanding with woods. You see a lot of wood body jewelry being manufactured by a lot of people because they're trying to jump in onto the market and trying to capitalize off it without understanding that there are woods that are pretty toxic to the body, and they react the same way in our bodies that allergens would. So if somebody has a severe allergy to some sort of mold or some kind of allergen that's out in the general and nature, some of these woods will actually come from these same kinds of families, and you'll have the same kind of allergic reactions. So once again, working with a reputable manufacturer in that sense, someone who's going to understand that even the process of cross-contamination, working with a toxic wood and contaminating your workspace, you've already contaminated something you're going to sell to somebody, which can potentially lead to problems and irritation along those lines. As far as stones are absolutely, they're amazing. There's just so many out there. And that's part of my biggest thing when I work with a lot of the gold jewelry, is understanding the different semi-precious and precious gemstones. And once you have a really good grasp of that, the possibilities are pretty infinite as far as different combinations that can be used. And that's definitely been one of the areas that I've had a lot of people over the years that have come to me saying that my stone combinations are pretty unique. And I try to keep it that way. I want people to have this sense of understanding that what they're wearing in their body, it's just not body jewelry. It's an actual piece of jewelry, and it should be treated so. So the use of precious gemstones and semi-precious gemstones has absolutely had a huge impact on the industry over the past couple of years, especially gold body jewelry.